Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you are preparing for a software development engineer in test or STET interview, then this is the video you have been looking for. Today, we are covering the top 39 Java coding interview questions. Every single one with actual code, clear explanations, and pro tips that will help you stand out in your next interview. Whether you are a fresher just starting out or an experienced tester looking to level up, I promise by the end of this video, you will feel confident walking into that interview room. So let us not waste any more time. Grab your coffee, open your IDE, and let us get started. And hey, if you find this video helpful, hit that like button and make sure you are subscribed with the bell icon turned on, because we drop new content every second day that will help you grow your career. Alright, let us go. Question number 1, and it is a classic, reverse a string. So here we are using String Builder, and notice how clean the solution is. We just wrap our string inside a new string builder, called .reverse, and that is it. Now why String Builder and not string? Great question. And interviewers love this follow-up. A string in Java is immutable, meaning it cannot be changed. But String Builder is mutable. It can be modified in place, which makes it perfect for operations like this. Output, NOITAMOTUA. Pro tip, always mention immutability when talking about strings, it shows depth. Question 2, palindrome check. A palindrome is a word that reads the same forwards and backwards. Think madam, race car, level. The approach, reverse the string using String Builder, convert it back to a string with dot to string, and then compare with the original using dot equals. Output, true. Because madam reverse is still madam. Quick note, if you want a case-insensitive check, use equals ignore case instead of equals. That small detail can impress your interviewer. Question 3. The Fibonacci series. A must know for every developer. In Fibonacci, every number is the sum of the two numbers before it. We start with 0 and 1. The code here is beautifully iterative. We keep two variables, num1 and num2. And in each loop iteration, we compute the next number, print it, then slide our window forward. Output 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34. Interview tip, if the interviewer asks you to do it recursively, you can, but warn them that the naive recursive approach is O of 2 to the power of n, extremely slow. The iterative approach is O of n. Always mention that trade-off. Number 4. Factorial. If you have done any programming before, you have seen this one. Factorial of 5 is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, which is 120. Simple loop, multiply each number from 1 to n. One important tip, if you are calculating factorials of large numbers, switch from int to long. Why? Because int can only hold up to about 2.1 billion, and factorials grow fast. Factorial of 20 alone is over 2 quadrillion. Question 5. Checking for prime numbers. This one tests your understanding of algorithm efficiency. The key optimization here is checking divisors only up to the square root of the number using math.sqrt. Why? Because if a number has a factor larger than its square root, the other factor must be smaller, so you would have already found it. This reduces time complexity from O of n to O of square root of n. For a number like 1 million, that is the difference between a million checks and just 1,000. Output for 11, true. 11 is prime. Always mention the square root optimization in interviews. It is what separates good answers from great ones. Question 6. Counting vowels and consonants. Great for string manipulation practice. We convert the string to a char array. Then for each character, If it is in our vowel string A, E, I, O, U uppercase E, E, I, O, U, we increment vowels. Otherwise, if it is a letter at all, using character dot is letter, we count it as a consonant. This skips spaces and special characters. For the word automation, 6 vowels, 4 consonants. The TOCAR array method is something you will use constantly in Java interviews for character level operations. Get comfortable with it. Question 7. Sorting an array. Simple but foundational. Arrays.sort is your best friend here. For primitive arrays like int array, Java uses a dual pivot quicksort under the hood, which is O of n log n on average. And always wrap your array in arrays.toString when printing, otherwise you will get a memory address instead of the actual values. From 5, 2, 8, 1, 3 to 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. Done. Question 8. Merging two arrays. Know the efficient way. We create a new array of combined length, then use system.arrayCopy to copy both arrays in. The arguments are source array, source start position, destination array, destination start position, and number of elements to copy. Why system.arrayCopy? It is a native method, meaning it runs at the JVM level and is significantly faster than manual looping. Mention this in interviews. Question 9. Finding the largest element. O of n single pass. Initialize your largest variable with the first element, not 0. Why? Because if all elements are negative, 0 would be wrongly returned. Then loop through, compare, and update. One clean pass, done. Bonus tip, you could also use arrays.stream, .max, .get as int in one line, but always know the manual approach too. Interviewers sometimes specifically ask for it. Question 10. Removing duplicates. This is where data structures shine. We use a hash set, which by its very nature does not allow duplicate values. So we just loop through the array and add everything to the set. Duplicates are automatically ignored. Important note, hash set does not guarantee order. If you need to preserve insertion order, switch to linked hash set. Interviewers sometimes ask this follow-up. Be ready. Question 11. Armstrong numbers. A personal favorite. A 3-digit Armstrong number is one where the sum of cubes of its digits equals the number itself. 153 equals 1 cubed plus 5 cubed plus 3 cubed, which equals 1 plus 125 plus 27, which equals 153. Mind blown. We extract each digit using modulo 10, cube it with math.pow, add to sum, then divide the number by 10 to peel off that digit. For n-digit Armstrong numbers, you would dynamically find the digit count using string.value of num.length. Great follow-up knowledge to show. Question 12. Reversing a number. Pure math magic. The trick, multiply the reversed number by 10 to shift it left, then add the last digit of the original using modulo 10. Then divide the original by 10 to remove that digit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 becomes 54,321. The mathematical elegance here is what makes this question a favorite in interviews. You could convert to string and reverse, but the math approach shows deeper understanding. Question 13. GCD using Euclid algorithm. Ancient yet brilliant. Euclid algorithm says GCD of A and B equals GCD of B and a mod B. Keep repeating until B becomes 0, then A is your answer. GCD of 60 and 48 gives GCD of 48 and 12, which gives GCD of 12 and 0, which gives 12. The time complexity is O of log of min of A and B. And as a bonus, you can get LCM using LCM equals A multiplied by B divided by GCD. 2 for 1 knowledge. Question 14. Anagram check. Classic and commonly asked. Two strings are anagrams if they contain the same characters in possibly different orders. Listen and silent, same letters, different arrangement. Our approach: convert both to char arrays, sort them, and use arrays dot equals to compare. If they match, anagrams. Sorting approach is O of n log n. For extra credit, mention the frequency map approach, which is O of n. Using a hash map to count character occurrences in both strings. Question 15. Counting digits. Short, sweet, and tests your Java knowledge. String dot value of num dot length converts the integer to a string and counts characters. Clean, readable, one line. The alternative: a while loop dividing by 10 until 0. That is O of log n with no conversion overhead. But the real interview highlight here is the gotcha. For strings you call dot length with parentheses. For arrays you access dot length without parentheses. For lists you call dot size with parentheses. Nail this distinction and watch the interviewer smile. Question 16. Printing all primes in a range. Combines loops and prime logic. For each number in our range, we apply the same square root optimized prime check from question 5. If it passes, print it. For range 10 to 50, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, 29, 31, 37, 41, 43, 47. For large ranges, mention the sieve of Eratosthenes. It marks all multiples of primes as composite and runs in O of n log n, significantly faster for big ranges. Question 17. Second largest element. A deceptively tricky one. We need two variables, first and second, both initialized to integer.min value, the smallest possible int value, which is a perfect sentinel. When we find a new maximum, we push the old maximum down to second place. If we find something between first and second, that becomes the new second. One pass, O of n. No sorting needed. Much more efficient than sorting the array. Integer.min value, remember this. It is a go-to sentinel for maximum finding problems. Question 18. Swapping without a temporary variable. An interview classic. Pure arithmetic becomes a plus b. Then b gets a minus b, which gives the original a. Then a gets a minus b, which gives the original b. A equals 5, b equals 10, a becomes 15, b becomes 5, a becomes 10. Magic. Alternative, XOR swap, a XOR equals b XOR equals a XOR equals b. Even more clever. The XOR approach also avoids potential integer overflow issues that the arithmetic approach can have with very large numbers. Mention this. Question 19. Pascal triangle. A mathematical beauty. Each row starts with 1. The interior values are computed using num equals num multiplied by I minus j divided by j plus 1. The format call adds leading spaces to create the centered triangle shape. Each row in Pascal triangle corresponds to binomial coefficients, so row 4 is 1, 4, 6, 4, 1, which are combinations of 4 choose 0, 4 choose 1, 4 choose 2, and so on. This one tests your understanding of both math and formatted output, two skills in one. Question 20. Finding the missing number. A beautiful O of n solution. The formula, sum of first and natural numbers is n multiplied by n plus 1 divided by 2. Subtract all the array elements from this expected sum. The remainder is your missing number. Array 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Expected sum of 1 to 6 is 21. Actual sum is 18. Missing number is 3. Alternative, XOR approach. XOR all numbers 1 to n, then XOR all array elements. What is left is a missing number, and it avoids overflow entirely. Mention both. Question 21. Decimal to binary conversion. Integer dot to binary string of 10 gives us 1010, that is 10 in binary. One line, built-in Java method. The manual approach, repeatedly divide by 2 and collect remainders. Those remainders in reverse order give you the binary representation. Did you know Java also has 2 octal string and 2 hex string? These 3 methods are incredibly useful in low-level system testing, important for SDETs working with network data or memory. Question 22. Perfect numbers. A number theory gem. A perfect number equals the sum of all its proper divisors, every divisor except itself. 28 equals 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 7 plus 14. That is 28. Perfect. We only loop up to num divided by 2, because no divisor of a number can be greater than half of it. That is our optimization. Fun fact for your interviewer. Perfect numbers are incredibly rare. The first 4 are 6, 28, 496, and 8128. Only about 51 perfect numbers are known to exist, and mathematicians still do not know if there are infinitely many. Question 23. A simple calculator. Real-world application. We use scanner to read input and switch case to handle operations. The default case throws an illegal argument exception for invalid operators, always handle edge cases. The critical interview point here, always check for division by 0. If the operator is slash and num2 is 0, throw an arithmetic exception. Forgetting this in production code causes crashes. And close your scanner with scanner.close when done. Resource management shows you write production quality code. Question 24. Sum of digits. Modulo operation at its finest. Extract last digit with modulo 10, add to sum, remove last digit with divide by 10. Repeat until 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Digits are 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 equals 15. Bonus concept, digital root. Keep summing until you get a single digit. The digital root of 12,345 is 1 plus 5 equals 6. This concept appears in divisibility tests. If a number digital root is divisible by 9, then number itself is divisible by 9. Question 25. String length. Sounds trivial, but the follow-up is where people fail. String.length with parentheses, 2 words, method call with parentheses. But here is the interview trap that trips up so many candidates. String, str.length with parentheses, it is a method. Array, a dot length without parentheses, it is a field. List, list.size with parentheses, different method name entirely. Get this wrong and you will get a compile error. Know these 3 cold, they come up constantly. Question 26. Checking for empty strings. Multiple nuances here. Is empty returns true only for length 0 strings? A string of spaces returns false with is empty. Is blank, added in Java 11, returns true for empty strings and strings containing only white space. Much more useful in real applications. And the golden rule, always do a null check before calling any string method, because calling is empty on a null reference throws a null pointer exception. Use, if str equals null or street dot is empty. Question 27. Counting character occurrences. 2 approaches, both useful. The classic approach, iterate with to-char array, compare each character, increment counter. But for bonus points, show the modern streams approach, str.chars.filter C arrow C equals a dot count. This is functional, concise, and demonstrates your Java 8 plus knowledge, which is highly valued in interviews. Both work. No both. Use the one that fits the context. Question 28. First non-repeated character. A very common interview question. This is where linked hash map shines over regular hash map. We need to first count frequency of each character, second return the first one with count 1. Regular hash map does not maintain insertion order, so we would lose track of which came first. Linked hash map does maintain order, so the first entry with value 1 is guaranteed to be the answer. For the word Swiss, W is the first non-repeated character. The linked hash map versus hash map distinction is a key interview talking point. Question 29. Removing white spaces. Regex power unlocked. Replace all with \s plus in quotes. The \s matches any whitespace character, spaces, tabs, new lines, carriage returns. The plus means one or more. Replace all of them with empty string. If you only want to remove regular spaces, use replace with a space in quotes, no regex needed. For SDETs, this is incredibly useful when parsing UI text that might have inconsistent spacing. Test data often comes with messy whitespace. Question 30. Finding common elements. Algorithm thinking. Naive approach. Nested loops. Check every element of array 1 against every element of array 2. That is O of n multiplied by m. Slow. Smart approach. Load array 1 into a hash set, O of n. Then for each element in array 2, check if the set contains it, O of 1 per check. Total, O of n plus m. This is the difference between linear and quadratic time, and demonstrating this optimization is what gets you hired. Common elements of 1, 2, 3, 4 and 3, 4, 5, 6 is 3 and 4. Question 31. Factorial using recursion. Back to classics. Recursive thinking, base case is n equals 0, return 1. Otherwise return n times factorial of n minus 1. Each call sits on the call stack until the base case is reached, then results bubble back up. For factorial of 3 is 3 times 2 times 1 equals 6. The interview follow-up, recursion uses O of n stack space. For very large n, like factorial of 10,000, you would get a stack overflow error. Iterative approach avoids this. Always know the trade-offs. Question 32. Random number generation. Essential for SDET work. Random.nextInt of 100 gives a random number from 0 to 99. For a custom range, say 50 to 100, random.nextInt of max minus min plus 1, then plus min. This formula is gold, memorize it. As an SDET, random is your friend for generating test data, random inputs, random user IDs, random prices. For reproducible tests, set a seed, new random of 42. Same seed always produces the same sequence, perfect for repeatable automated tests. Question 33. Leap year check. The rule that trips everyone up. Here is the rule. A year is a leap year if it is divisible by 4, unless it is a century year, in which case it must also be divisible by 400. So, 2024, divisible by 4, not a century, leap year. 1900, century year, not divisible by 400, not a leap year. 2000, divisible by 400, leap year. So many candidates forget the 400-year rule and get this wrong. The and or logic in the condition is the key. Study it carefully. Question 34. Sum of natural numbers. The O of 1 formula that proves your math knowledge. n multiplied by n plus 1 divided by 2. No loop. No iteration. Just pure math. This formula was discovered by the legendary mathematician Carl Friedrich Gauss. As a child, he supposedly solved the sum of 1 to 100 in seconds by pairing numbers 1 plus 100, 2 plus 99, 3 plus 98, each pair summing to 101, and there are 50 pairs. So 50 multiplied by 101 equals 5050. In interviews, if you write a loop for this, you are leaving points on the table. Use the formula and explain why. That is the move. Question 35. Login system. Fundamental OOP and string comparison. And here is the number one Java mistake that beginners make, highlighted right in this code. Never use double equals to compare strings. Use dot equals. Why? Double equals compares object references, whether two variables point to the same memory location. Dot equals compares actual character content. Two different string objects with identical text will fail double equals but pass dot equals. This is responsible for countless bugs in Java codebases. Know it, love it, never forget it. Question 36. String contains. Highly relevant for SDET and automation. str dot contains substring, simple, readable, effective. Returns true if the substring exists anywhere in the main string. But it is case sensitive. Automation testing does not contain testing with lowercase t. For case insensitive, str dot to lowercase dot contains substring dot to lowercase. As an SDET, you will use this constantly, verifying that a web page title contains expected text, checking log messages, validating API responses. This is real automation testing code. Question 37. Maximum occurring character. Frequency map pattern. This is the classic frequency map pattern, and you will see it in dozens of interview questions. Build a hash map of character to count. Then iterate the map to find the highest count. Get or default of key and 0 is a beautiful shortcut. If the key does not exist, return 0 instead of null. Saves you a null check. For the word programming, G appears most frequently. Master the frequency map pattern and you will be able to solve a whole family of interview problems. Question 38. Bubble sort. Sorting algorithm theory time. In bubble sort, we compare adjacent elements and swap them if they are in the wrong order. After each pass, the largest unsorted element bubbles up to its correct position. Time complexity, O of n squared, not efficient for large datasets. But it is simple and easy to explain, which is why it is a common interview question. Pro optimization. Add a swapped Boolean flag. If we complete a full pass with no swaps, the array is already sorted. Break early. Best case becomes O of n. Always mention this. Question 39. Selection sort. Our final question. Selection sort finds the minimum element in the unsorted portion and places it at the beginning. Repeat until sorted. Key difference from bubble sort, selection sort does fewer swaps, maximum and -1 swaps versus bubble sort potentially O of n squared swaps. This makes selection sort better when write or swap operations are expensive, like on flash memory or slow I/O. Both are O of n squared in time, but understanding when to use each is what separates good engineers from great ones. And that brings us to the end. You made it through all 39 questions. And that is a wrap on all 39 Java coding interview questions for SDET. I am so proud of you for sticking through to the end. That tells me you are serious about your preparation, and trust me, that dedication will pay off. Let me know in the comments below, which question was your favorite, or which one stumped you the most. I read every single comment and I would love to hear from you. Now here is what I need you to do. Hit that like button. It literally takes 1 second and it helps this video reach more people who need it. Subscribe and ring the notification bell so you never miss a new video. I post every second day. Share this video with a friend who is preparing for interviews. Sharing is caring, and you might just help someone land their dream job. Save this video to your playlist so you can come back and revise anytime. Keep coding, keep learning, and I will see you in the next one.